Yeah, getting. I think sometimes it's like training. We got to train people, but at the same time, got to work on, sort of the. We talked kind of at a higher level last several weeks. I've been kind of really in the mode of talking more what's your why and what gets you motivated and your self-image and when it comes to you guys are on this call, so really everyone on this call, if you're on this call, then obviously you have a desire to recruit and build a team. I'm just assuming, unless you just don't have anything else to do this time of day on Friday, you just want to kind of sit in and listen to me jibber jabber, and maybe I can give you some entertainment maybe, but I would assume maybe that's not the case, that you guys want to know how to make money. And that's, we're talking about business, so and just to kind of give you a little bit, like when I first got in this thing, I got so fired up. Not only because you can make money writing life insurance. I mean, to me it was like, golly, you kidding me? You spend an hour with somebody, you make $500 back in the day, when we walked to our leads uphill both ways in the snow, and things were really hard. We didn't have laptops, and we had Motorola flip phones that were the size of a brick. You guys remember bag phones? No, anyway, I know I'm dating myself big time, but when I got into this thing, I was so fired up because you could make $350 in an hour taking care of a family that wanted you to come over. Okay, I mean, like I think sometimes we take this for granted, what we do to make money. Like the world of insurance people out there, they make a list of 200 of their closest family and friends, and then they turn it over to their agency manager in those other deals. And then he field trains their list, and he makes the commission on selling life insurance to the person's warm market under the guise of training. So he's going to train by closing all that guy's warm market clients. He makes the money, and then the agent is now trained. Now the agent needs to go forth and get referrals from his family and friends and continue the referral marketing thing. And if he wants to do the same thing, then they get that guy, that agent, the new agent, to go recruit other agents to do the same thing for them. So that's kind of their lead program in some of those multi-level marketing insurance programs. Their lead program is hiring people to get into their warm market, to field train, and that's how they produce, right? So that's how they do that deal. And that's how they perpetuate, and actually, for what it's worth, they out-recruit us tenfold. Okay, they're bringing on 10,000 agents a month, and all of the alliance, we're probably putting on about 300 agents a month. They're doing like 10,000 a month, doing that method, because they don't have a lead program. Their lead program is hiring people. Okay, so that's the multi-level guy in insurance. The more the standard traditional life insurance agent, they bring them on. They do Project 200 on them, where they get 200 of their closest family and friends. They field train them, same kind of thing, and then the guy has to get referrals and keep the momentum going, just referrals from referrals from referrals, and that's how those guys do it. And then they join networking groups, the breakfast clubs and stuff, to get in on a network where everybody gives each other their warm contacts of clients. So, you're in a group of there's one realtor, there's one life insurance agent, there's a property casualty agent, there's a T-shirt company that does promotions, these little networking groups, and then you trade each other's stuff, they do little mixers, or you know what I'm saying? I mean, so don't take for granted what we have. Is we have a lead program. We got people that want to sit down with us, and then we go out there, serve them, and we make $500. And back in the day, I was fired up about making $350. And then what really fired me up is I had the ability to hire other people, create a spread, and make money on the spread of their business, right? And I thought, wow, this is so awesome. They get leads. They don't have to hit up their family and friends. They can implement what I'm doing. They make money, and then I make an override. It's like, wow, this is so awesome, based on a lead program, right? And so what I used to do, and Patrick and Mike and I know well, we would trade around spreadsheets. I'd be the initiator of it. And I'd put spreadsheets together, like, here's Alex, and I'm at a 65% contract, right? And then I used to run spreadsheets as like, okay, I had Patrick, Mike and Noel. I drew it out, like I said, if I had 5 people, and they're all at a 55% commission rate, I mean, I don't know if you guys got fired enough to do it, but I suggest you do this because the scenarios are crazy. So Patrick did $10,000 a month. Mike and Noel did $10,000 a month. This person did $10,000. Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 40,000 times a 10% spread times 10%.
It's 50,000.
Yeah, 50,000. I'm sorry. Thank you, Yuval. 50,000 times 10. Yeah, this is what I would do. Because 50,000 back in the day, if you had a group doing 50,000, you'd be moved up to agency manager to an 85% contract. Okay, and so that's how our promotions is based on volume. So that would be $5,000 a month, which is $60,000 a year. Before I even wrote my first piece of business, it's like, oh my God, that's like so awesome. And then what I got excited about is that eventually I'd be promoted to an 85% contract, so that becomes a 30% spread. So what is that, 15,000? Yeah, because if 10's 5, then 3, yep. That's 15,000 a month. So what's 15,000 a month? 180,000?
Yep.
Is that right? 15? Yep. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's 180?
Yeah.
You guys ever do this? You guys ever run spreadsheets? I'm serious. I would do all these crazy scenarios. I would going, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. I would I'd say, okay, well maybe Patrick's not as good. So I would do if I got a guy at 25,000 and this person did 15,000 and this person did 10,000 and then this person did 5,000, this person did 1,000, right? And then I would do that. But every way I cut it up, I made an override spread. And it was like, oh my gosh, is that awesome? So 60,000 a year in overrides, well, Alex, that's too good to be true. Well, okay. Well, how about this? Let's just make it simple. I mean, it's 65%. I find one person that does 5,000 at 55%. I make 10% on that a month. 10% of 5,000 is 500. Times 12, that's 6,000 a year. Okay, so what if you got a 6,000 a year raise with whatever you're doing, making money in a job, in the job thing? Like if you're making $60,000 a year and you got a $6,000 raise, what is that, a 10% raise? So how many of you have ever gotten a 10% raise, right? Perspective. Let's get perspective on what we do. And what we're doing is we're going out there calling people that want to be called and sit down with people that want to be helped and write up people that want to protect and love their families and protect their families. Oh my gosh, $5,000 a month? That's like what, $1,250 a week? That's like one app a week, basically. And 70% of unique writing units do 5,000 or below. So, I don't care what kind of scenarios that you put together, but I would suggest you do that just to get excited about what you have your hands on. A lot of times I think it's you don't understand what you have your hands on, so that you where's that crackle come from? Okay. I think sometimes you don't know what you have your hands on and understand what you have your hands on. But Alex, it's so hard. What? It's like hard? What's hard? Digging ditches is hard. Working in 100-degree weather, roofing houses is hard. Hard. Picking up a phone, talking to enough people till you find the people that said, yeah, come on over. And then you go over there, you sit down with those people, and half of them say, yes, I love my families, I want to protect them, right? And then of the half that you turn in, of the apps you turn in, you get 75% issued, and you get paid. It's like this process. And you sit around in front of enough people, you're going to close enough policies that you're going to start making a wage. A livable wage we talk about. You're going to start making money. And the better you get, the better you get. The more money you're going to make just purely on what you've been doing. You get more efficient. You start getting higher profit margins. You close a higher percentage. Like our top closers are in the 70% range as opposed to 50% range. So you go from 50 to 70%. That's a 20% efficiency rate that you get better. You basically give yourself a 20% raise. And then your placement rate should, as you learn how to write the right product on the right people and you get everything correct, get better at underwriting, field underwriting, your placement rate should get into the 80 to 90% range. So again, you get an increase of about 15%. So that's another 15% raise. So no kidding, you can get a 20% raise on your closing rate and another 15% raise on increasing your placement persistency. So you have within your control by plugging in and doing everything a way to even get better. So the numbers I throw up here as you get better will get better. And you start making more money. Wow, isn't that cool? I'm trying to make it simple so that you guys can understand what should be motivating you to be on this call, which should be to make money. We're in this to make money for our families. The why you should be doing it is you need to supply that. I can't give that to you. I can't motivate you. I can't put a fire in you to want to do this. But here's what I saw. There's two components of our program. There's the sales income, and then there's the, which is I call instant income. And then there's the builder income, okay, which is call that for, permanent income, right? So here, the instant income involves basically this process, a 4-step process. You have resources. These are leads, okay? And then from the leads, you call them up to see who wants to sit down with you. After you call them up, you show them the program. Then after the program, you follow up and follow through, okay? And you get the program placed and issued, and you deliver it to them. So the process in sales involves these 4 things. You got resources, which are leads. You pre-screen, you screen them on the phone to book appointments, You go on the appointments and you show them the program that they want, you take care of them, and you follow through, get the policy issued, and deliver it. Okay? Well, on the builder side, on the recruiting and building side, everything has an analogy. So the resources on our leads, okay, the resources are your warm market list. Okay, these are the people that you already know. Then these are Craigslist people. These are resumes that you email, okay, and call up. These are people that you meet along the way, people in your life, the shoe salesman guy, people that you meet along the way, okay, what Andy calls familiarizing yourself with people. I used to do this all the time where I go up to somebody, man, you look familiar to me. Where do I know you from? Did you grow up around here? Did you go to school around here? Man, where do you work? And you find out just stuff about them, and then you have an opportunity to call them because you find out where they work, and then you call in and get their name. I mean, I'm not going to teach how to do that, but there's a way to do that. People that you meet along the way, the server that serves you, that's really got a great personality, the quick. You know what? I have a friend of mine in Dayton, Ohio. He owns a financial company looking for some salespeople. He's interviewing people right now. I don't know. You seem like a great person. I don't know if you plan on making this career, but he would certainly. I think you'd be a great person I could recommend to have him interview you. Are you open for an interview? He's looking right now, and then she says, well, yeah, absolutely. Well, here's my card. How could he get a hold of you? And you do the how can he get a hold of you? You're not asking her for a number. It's how could he get a hold of you? And then she volunteers her number, cell phone, her work number. Here's her, here's my email address. So it's a non-threatening way. So those are people that you meet along the way. And so this is your resource, right? Your resources of people that potentially we can show the opportunity to. And then the second thing is we screen them on the phone. We give them a call and say, hey, Joe, hey, remember I met you, or hey, your resume looked like a potential fit. You got a couple minutes, we can chat, that kind of deal. You give them on the phone, and then you qualify them to show them the plan, our program, to see if they're interested in making money the way we make money, right? And then the fourth thing is you follow up, follow through. You get them started. Okay, the get started part, GS3, we get them started, get them licensed and contracted, and teach them on any university how to do this thing, right? And so this is, in sales, it's an iteration of leads and getting close sales, and then this part, okay, is the part about building your business. So you do both sides of one thing. This, gang, is one thing. This is one thing that we do. Okay, we sell, we recruit, then here's the building part. The other one thing, the build is find others that will sell, recruit, and build. Okay, because you can recruit salespeople, but if all they want to do is sell, then you're just like a sales agent. But building involves finding people that want to do what you're doing, that want to build their business. When you find people that want to build, okay, then you are building. Okay, but if you're purely finding people that only want to sell, then you're nothing better than a manager, a sales manager, right? The ongoing permanent income side on the building is finding other people that want to build, which hopefully is why you're on this call, is I'm attempting to create my permanent income by teaching you how to do what I'm doing, which is building, which is finding other people that want to do what I'm doing. See how that works? So the one thing is we sell, we recruit, and then we build, helping others sell, recruit, and build. All right? So there's 3 levels of learning. So under this backdrop of the one thing we do, there's 3 levels of learning. Number 1, this will kind of determine where you're at. You learn to do. So you learn all this to do it. You learn to sell. Okay? You learn to recruit. You learn to do it to do it. So there's the learning to do. The second level of learning is you're learning to teach. In other words, learning so that you can teach what you're doing to someone else, which is it's a whole different way of learning. Like, let me tell you, I promise you, if I asked you to teach the phone call, how to book an appointment, or how to interview somebody, guess what? You're going to bone up on really well on how to do it so that you can teach it. See how deeper you have to learn it so that you can teach it to someone else, right? So you got to be good at it, or you got to know what you're doing in order to be able to teach it. So in order to be good at it, you got to do it, so you become good so that you can teach what you're doing, okay? And then the last part, and this is kind of you're progressing up the ladder of leadership, is that you teach the teachers. Teach the teachers. I teach people how to teach. Okay, so as an example, Cord and I were on the phone yesterday talking about what to teach at the Raleigh meeting. So he was counseling me, what do you think I should cover? Okay? Or when I get Cord to cover me on a conference call, what should I cover on a conference call? So I'm teaching him how to teach it. I'm teaching him what to teach. And actually, I pretty much trust Cord and how he teaches it because he's got a great way of teaching. So I'm too worried about him there. But now some of you are still in the learning to do part. And a lot of you, like most of you, are on this. And then learning to teach, there's some of you that are kind of getting there. Cord is probably the only one that's all the way here. Okay, now obviously I have Mike and Noel. They're all the way over here. Patrick and Suzanne Connors. I got Kyle and Charlene Cater. I got leaders that are here. And this is where you ought to strive to be, is learning to learn to teach, and teach the teachers. Okay? So, that's kind of your path, is how you go along in building your business. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? There's other layers, so let's kind of peel back the onion of other things that you do. So when you recruit, there's some of the rules. Okay, when you recruit someone under you, you don't have someone until they have someone. Okay, so you really haven't recruited someone until they have someone for them. So if they have someone for them, then you really have a recruit. But if you don't have someone for them, then you have a potential quitter. In fact, it's probably easier to see here. You got a potential quitter. Okay, so when you recruit someone, you have a potential quitter. But when you recruit someone for them, then you have a potential agent, right? Because that person is not going to want to give up the potential for overrides. It's interesting how people will quit commissions quicker than they'll quit overrides. There's just something interesting about you making money off someone else's efforts. It's sort of the American way as far as capitalism is concerned.
488-60.
219-488-60.
Yes.
That's funny. Okay, so you see how that works? You don't have a recruit until you have a recruit for them. And you don't have a leg until you can drive the leg 4 deep. Okay, so that's not a leg until it's 4 deep. So what this involves is getting lists of names. So warm market lists, that skill is important to drive this depth. So you don't have a recruit until you recruit for them. You don't have a leg until you drive it 4 deep. And you don't have an agency manager leg unless it's 12 deep. Okay, so you get a leg 12 deep, you have a potential for that to go agency manager. All right, at least key leader for sure. Okay, so these are just some of the rules to be aware of when you're building your business. Some of the things that to keep in mind of what you're trying to accomplish, because you always got to know what you're trying to accomplish, right? So I'm trying to educate you. I hope I'm educating you a little bit. Okay, this is all fun stuff to know. This will help you teach it, because having a framework, because people sometimes they think that recruiting and and selling are two different things. But giving them the analogy, that four-step analogy, gives them the idea that it's really doing the same thing except a different objective, right? All right, so under the guise of teaching you to do, okay, let's talk about the interview process, all right? The kind of the components of an interview, of a good interview. And actually, Yuval and I had a pretty good time teaching him how to do the interview process. And we have really good interviewers on this call, Cord and Bill and a lot of folks out there, Tracy, Karen. They've become good at recruiting and interviewing because they've done a lot more of it, right? So kind of the anatomy of an interview. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to who wants to role play with me here? In fact, it was really funny. I'll do it with Yuval because we did it before. So, Yuval, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. So, you know, some people wonder if I need a resume. I don't really need a resume to interview anybody. Sometimes the resume is fun to have. But I'm going to role play with Yuval, and then I'm going to break down the steps of my process just so you can, you know, maybe you could follow a process. I don't want to presume that it's intuitive, because if I said it's intuitive, then all you people that are not intuitive types won't understand how to do it. So some of you that are very sequential, step-by-step people, I'm going to break it down in components and you can follow and make it a little bit easier. You know, kind of like our sales process with the submarine sales process, the step-by-step, really it's very similar to the interview process. So let me break it down for you. Number one, there's the bond and rapport. The bond and rapport process. Okay, so let's talk, Yuval. So I'm going to call Yuval, and let's just say that he responded to a Craigslist ad, or he responded to an email on a resume. And so Yuval, let's just kind of go like we did before, and don't try not to have canned answers, like, you know what I'm saying, because now that you know a little bit more about this process, but try to be like just like you and I don't know each other. And
okay.
So I'm going to do the ring thing. So ring.
Hello.
Hello, is Yuval?
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Yuval. This is Alex Abuyuan with Abuyuan Financial Group. I received got your resume here, and you showed some interest in our position. You got a couple minutes to chat right now?
Yes, I do. For which ad was it for?
Okay. Are you responding to a lot of ads out there?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Well, let me just remind you, it was the ad that's related to a sales opportunity lead program, making on average about $500 per sale. Does that kind of ring a bell at all to you?
Yes, now I remember. Okay, cool.
Okay, great. Now, I see here that you're living in New York, right?
I was living in New York until 6-7 months ago, and I just moved to Georgia.
Oh, whereabouts in Georgia?
I moved to Atlanta.
Oh, really? Okay, Atlanta. I hear that you guys have been getting like 100-degree weather down there.
Yes, almost 100 degrees, but almost on a daily basis.
Wow, man, how are you keeping cool? It's you must be like running from air-conditioned car to air-conditioned mall, right?
No, it's not a big deal for me because I'm originally from Israel, and over there it's much hotter.
Oh, you're originally from where?
From Israel.
Israel. Oh, wow, that's cool. So how long have you lived in this country?
About 17 years.
Oh, wow. So what kind of motivated you to want to come here to the United States?
It kind of happened by accident. I decided to travel around after finishing the Army. And, I needed some money to do that. So I traveled a little bit to South America, needed more money to go to the Far East. Went to New York to make that money and suddenly stayed there for like 17 years.
Wow. So you lived in New York. You lived in New York for how long? 17 years?
Yes. It's 16 and a half years, almost 17 years.
Oh, man, New York. So you're talking like in New York City?
Yes. Most of the time I lived in Manhattan. And in the beginning I lived for a couple of months in Brooklyn.
Oh, my gosh. Now, let me ask you a question. My daughter is going to be going to an acting conservatory, the Neighborhood Playhouse in New York City. And so we're going to try to find her a place to live. Since you've lived there, I mean, do you have any advice for me? Because we're kind of a little bit anxious about having her live out there. I mean, what would you suggest?
I think the best suggestion that I can give you is work harder because you won't need any penny.
Well, we're going to be fronting it, so how do you find a place to live? I mean, I don't know. I've heard that the rent, renting a 400 square foot studio is like $2,000 a month, $1,500 a month there in Manhattan. Is that true?
I don't think. Yes, that sounds like realistic, but it's very hard to find such big studios.
Oh, that's a big studio, 400 square feet.
Yes, it is.
Wow. Oh,
and
my gosh,
people are cramming into like small apartments. The owners usually take a big apartment and divide it to more rooms, and then you're like in a tiny shoebox. You share it with 3 other people and pay like $1,000 each.
Wow, that's crazy. Wow.
But a good realtor will be able to help you get something decent, and it's probably better not to live in the city in the beginning. It's better to live either in Brooklyn, most likely in Brooklyn, or in Queens, depends on your age. If it's your daughter, probably Brooklyn.
Wow. All right, man. Well, I'll tell you what, when we're going out there, I'll consult with you and get some help. So let me ask you a question, Yuval. So what is motivating you to kind of look for something right now? What are you currently doing, and why are we talking?
I'm looking for a new job because while I was in New York, I was working for a moving company as a salesperson, and in general, I was very successful, but the moving industry is not that great to be in. And I also studied for my first degree in finance, and I was hoping to be able to combine the two. And that's the reason I contacted you guys, because I saw that this is a financial company and you need to help with sales. That could be a good fit for me if I can combine those two together.
Okay. So that's what you're looking for, huh? A way to get involved in the financial services arena and making money selling. So tell me about your background in sales. What have you done in the selling business? How good were you at it?
I was a salesman for a little bit over 11 years. And I started with the 35% booking, and I ended up it was like average 65% booking. And I sold about between $100,000 to $130,000 worth of moving in a monthly basis.
Wow, on a month? That's
Yes.
pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, so you sound like you're pretty good at that career.
Yes, but as I said, it wasn't that profitable, so it was better for me not to keep with it.
So what are you doing for work right now then?
Right now, I don't do anything for work. After moving to Atlanta, I was hoping to do something, but with the moving industry, but I decided not to go that way, and I'm unemployed at the moment.
Oh, you're currently employed?
Currently unemployed.
Unemployed. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
man. So, like, you need to make money yesterday? Is that the situation you're in?
Kind of.
Kind of. What does kind of mean?
Most likely it will be better for me if I will start making money 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, before we kind of jump into this thing, should we decide to partner up and get you going, it might be a month, maybe even 2 months from now that you start seeing a regular income. Are you going to be able to float for that long?
If I have the right reasons, I will be able to work that out. But tell me what is the reason that it takes that long to be able to start generating income?
Well, number one, there are different steps you have to go through, and I will definitely tell you about that part. I just really am, I'm just a little bit, as far as being unemployed, because this is not a salary job. We're not going to start paying you from day one to start learning. There's a lot of aspects to it, and we've got agents that are making money right away, agents that are making money down the road. The only thing for me is that I hate to have to bring someone on that's already under financial pressure, because learning anything new, it would be very difficult. So that would be my only concern. So let me ask you this question. What do you need to live on every month? Like, how much money would cover your nut to live? What are we looking at on a monthly basis?
It's Georgia, so it's not that expensive. It's only like $2,500 to $3,000 a month.
Okay. All right. $2,500 to $3,000. Okay, that's very doable. You're probably closing 1 to 2 sales a week easily to get that going. So that's not typically a situation. So it sounds to me like you really need to do something like right away.
Look, when I moved to Georgia, I planned to open my own moving company, and I was prepared to open my own business. And I did know that I need to have a little bit of breath before I start making money. And so I have the ability to stay without income for, as much time as needed if the opportunity is there.
Okay, good enough. Well, let me tell you a little bit about what we do, and then if there's an opportunity here, then maybe we could proceed further. But, so let me tell you what we do. We have this thing called a LEAD program. Basically, these are letters that people are interested that we send out, and people send them back to us. They're interested in protecting their homes in the event of death, so it pays their house off. The program will pay their house off if they pass away, so their families can live in their homes mortgage-free or more affordably by, maybe bringing the mortgage down. They can refinance, whatever. But we protect families' homes, so that's one of the aspects of the things that we do. The average sale will produce about $500 to $600 in income. All right, and you can run as many appointments or as few appointments a week to make whatever money you want to make. There's a lot of flexibility, but it requires discipline. You got to have a disciplined schedule, and you got to really care about the people that you're sitting down with, because we're not looking for people that look at our clients like paychecks, you really got to sit down with them and care that they're being served properly with the product. But the key feature is that we've got a lead program, so you're not going to have to prospect right away. You have people that we can, get you in front of, that you can show our opportunity to, and you can you'll close about 50% of the people that you sit down with. And so, like I said, if you want to make $2,500 to $3,000 a month, maybe you're sitting down with 12 people. Okay, that you're going to take care of 6 homes. The average home is about $1,000 sales credit. So 500 times 6 homes you take care of, it's about $3,000 a month. So you got to figure out how to book 12 appointments in your schedule in a month, and you can make $3,000 a month. So the average appointment's about an hour. So do you have 12 hours in your calendar that you can devote to sitting down with someone and taking care of them to make what you need to make to live, at least the minimum to live every month? Is that something that you think you can do?
I do, but really that sounds really like an option that is too good to be true, because I remember from my moving days, I made commission of 6.5%, 8.5% of every deal that I make. And this is really sounds too good to be true.
Well, let me tell you that it is awesome, and we definitely can make a lot of money doing what we do. But you know what? What I found, Yuval, just like in life, people don't do what they say they're going to do. You ever run into that where people say they want to do something, and then they don't ever follow through on doing it? You ever run into a situation where people are like that?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that I did. It happened to me before.
Yeah. Why is that? Why do you think people don't do what they say they're going to do, or what you show them to do?
I think people get too excited from the point of when you are telling them whatever you are expecting of them, and then when they really need to execute it, they start to think about other things that distract them from their goal.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? Notice I said that you take care of 50% of the people that you sit down with. You're looking at the success, but there's 50% that you won't take care of. There are 50% that will throw you out of the house. There are 50% that might yell at you. There are 50%, so everyone always looks at how good it is, but they don't focus on how bad it could be, right? Mm-hmm. So it's hard because you got to deal with the 50% that rejects you. How are you dealing with rejection in your life? Can you handle 50% of the people that say no, they want to think about it, 50% of the people that throw you out of their house because they think your prices are too high? Can you handle the 50% that don't even show up? Some of those people don't even show up to their appointments. You drove an hour or half an hour to their house and they're not there. You're knocking on the door and you hear them say, "Shh, that insurance guy's here." Okay? Tell me about you. Can you handle rejection?
I believe so, because I had enough rejection in New York when I was selling and moving. And people aren't nice in New York like they are nice here in Georgia. So I believe that
really?
It will be a little bit easier over here.
Yeah, and I hear they serve you sweet tea in Georgia, so they must be sweeter people down there, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of iced tea in New York is Long Island iced tea, and anyway. Well, let me ask you this, Yuval. Like I said, to get involved with us requires a life insurance license. It takes a couple weeks to get that done. To get trained with us might take 3-4 days, and then to get out there in the field. So that's why it takes a little bit of time to get started with us. You can make money right away, or you can make money down the road, or you can make no money at all. It just depends on how closely you follow our directions. We're going to teach you exactly what to do. So look, if you think it's a match, let me ask you, is there anything preventing you from going ahead and getting started right now and get started with the licensing process? And the licensing process It's $50 to get signed up. So is that $50 going to prevent you from getting started?
No, $50 will not be a big of a deal at the moment.
Okay. Well, so let me ask you this. If we make a opportunity available to you to get started, what's preventing us from getting started right now? Anything?
Pretty much nothing. But is there any more information that I can get about your company and about how things are working?
Okay. You ever hear of Mutual of Omaha?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Mutual of Omaha is one of our companies that we work with. What do you know about them?
I just know that they're an insurance company. I hadn't have any dealing with insurance companies before.
Yeah, they're pretty big, though. They're like a $22 billion company. They've been in business for, 100 years, a long time, and we're their largest marketer. So we sell more life insurance with Mutual of Omaha than any other of their independent companies, marketing companies. And, and you talk to their vice president, they endorse us big time. So, if a company like Mutual of Omaha endorses us, then, chances are we're doing pretty good things with them. And then we've got 13 other companies that we work with. But so I can get you more information. And I've got other people that I'm talking to right now. So let me offer you an opportunity to maybe get some more information if you're not really interested in getting started. But I'm only going to offer you an opportunity to get more information if you're serious. If you're not serious, you just want to, really just kick tires and not pursue this, tell me right now. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like you're highly interested, how would you rate your level of interest? High, medium, or none?
Pretty high.
Okay, what does pretty high mean?
Around 8, 9 in your scale.
8, 9? Mm-hmm. Okay. So the only thing preventing you from getting started is more information?
Yes.
Okay.
Because if I need to spend, you said that it's around $50 to register to get the license.
Right.
And if I just want to make sure that I have enough information of when I'm getting something like a license, I'm not doing it with the full amount of information that I'm supposed to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I never had a license before with that.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, here's the next step, because I want my manager to interview you just to make sure that we get more information on you to determine if you might be eligible for our program. So give me 3 times over the next couple of days that you're going to be available in hour blocks, because my manager, her name's Tracy White, and Tracy's very experienced in the business, and she ultimately has the ultimate decision to hire people. So give me 3 hour-long blocks that you'd be available for her to give you a call within that hour-long block over the next couple of days. And then I'll find out whether she can work you in her calendar, because she's really busy. As you can imagine, we're interviewing a lot of people right now because we've got a lot of leads out there of families that we need to take care of. So give me 3 times that she can call you over the next couple of days.
You will be able to reach me tomorrow morning, anytime between 9 to 12,
okay.
Or tomorrow evening between 6 to 9, and all of that obviously it's Eastern time.
Eastern time. Okay, great. Eastern time. All right. So, like, if she calls you, you're not going to just kind of blow it off, right? I mean,
no, of course not. I really want
valuable.
to get more information and to make a proper decision about it.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a time on her calendar. I'm going to let you know when that is, and then as long as you're available in that hour-long block for her to give you a call, then let's make that happen. Sound good?
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, Yuval. Good talking to you. Man, I'm late for my next interview, so Hey, man, I'll let you know. I'll email you. Now, let's see if I got the right email address. I got yuvalmano@yahoo.com. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, great. All right, man. Good talking to you. Take care.
You too.
Okay, bye. All right. There's a lot of different ways that this thing can go. You know, you got to be able to either get them started or get them more information. But, you know, it was actually interesting because our conversation was different than the one we role played, you know, last week. But the bottom report part is just like in the sales process, getting to know them. I always like weather, or if they're like in Boston, I go, so what do you think of Tom Brady and the Deflategate deal? I talk sports. If it's a guy, if it's a lady, I talk about weather. I just break the ice. You know, I found out more about him, where he lived, and, you know, coming from Israel, and I found out more about that. So I just really kind of create a relationship and get an idea what's up with them. And then I try to find their pain. Okay, I want to know why they're looking. You know, so tell me, let me ask you a question. Why are you looking right now? What is motivating you to check out what we're doing? You know, what are you doing now? I qualify their skills. Like, tell me what you've done in sales. So I want to know what they've done. You know, is their situation? Are they currently employed or, you know, unemployed? Oh, unemployed. Look, man, are you under financial pressure? It's like, man, I want to know. I want to know what I'm dealing with. How much does it take to keep you going? It sort of led me to that. Although I didn't do that last time I talked. I role played with Yuval. I think I actually did the goal. It's like, you know, so in the next 30, 60 days, what would you be your monthly income goal with us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then when they tell me 25 to 3,000, okay, that's probably 1 to 2 appointments a week, and, you know, maybe 3 appointments a week, and so on. Okay, then when I show them the plan, this is where I transition to show them what we do. I just give them just real quick. And this might have been a little bit longer than I typically take. I could do this in 5 minutes, or I could do it in an hour. Just depends on the juju that's going, if I feel good about them. And then the fourth part of this is I close them. Either I close them to get started now, or I close them for the next information step. So it's like book a meeting from a meeting. So I either get them started now, or I book them to the next step. Notice how I asked the question, so is there anything preventing you from starting now? $50. It's $50 to get started. Anything preventing you? Tell me what's preventing you. Now notice, I leave my options open. I'm not offering to sign them up because they might say, well, I need more information. So I pivot to this. Otherwise, I say, well, there's nothing preventing me from getting started. Nothing at all? Like if I said, let's get signed up now, you'd be able to get signed up. And he says, yeah, absolutely. This sounds like what I've been waiting for. Okay, great. Let's get you going. But if he says like what he said, well, I need more information. Great. I need more information from you as well. I'm going to book you in to talk to my manager because that's the next step. So you know how I still keep my options open when I say, is there anything preventing you? Is there anything preventing you? Is there anything preventing you? You know, if we made you an offer right now, is there anything preventing you from getting started? Because I want to know if there's anything. If there is, I need more information. Great, we need more information on you. The next step in this process is a final interview with my manager. She makes the ultimate hiring decisions. So you see how I kind of keep my options open? I can close them or not close them. If I don't close them, I still have options to go somewhere else without giving up the fact that I would close them right there. Does that make sense? So let me open it up. I know, because we're getting close to the end of our time here. All right, so does anyone have any questions kind of in this general process of getting to know somebody, finding their pain, showing how what we do can help them get what they want? I don't vomit on them, right, and then closing them. Do you guys, any questions on this?
Yeah, Alex.
Yes.
Cord. So I gather from this, you're doing more of a one-call close now versus the initial call, send them to your website, follow up, and get them started?
No, I still do that. Okay, this is just a general conversation, interview conversation to have with someone. Like this could be after they've seen the video.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm back.
Yeah, this is like the whole front part. They've seen the video, right? And there's a certain level of interest that I've qualified them already. So I already know kind of that they're interested because they've come back to me on the video. But I still want to bond and rapport with them. I still want to find out why they're looking. I still want to tell them, again, reiterate what we do, 3, 2, 1, whatever. And then I close them. Typically when they've seen the video, then I'm getting them started because they're already wanting to talk to me. Okay, so I already know with reasonable confidence I'm going to close them. But the same model can be used if you're cold calling a resume and you talked about, hey, Joe, listen, my name's Alex Abuyuan. I'm a hiring manager for Abuyuan Financial Group. Listen, we found your resume, and it's a potential fit for a position that we're looking to hire in your area. It's a sales position. Let me ask you, you got a couple minutes right now to chit-chat real quick. And that's kind of the header to getting them started with this process, right? And since I have the resume, I can be a little bit more, so tell me a little bit about when you were at IBM. How'd you like that job? But it ultimately comes down to, so tell me, why are you looking right now? Why are you open to talking to me and your resume's out there? That kind of thing. So this process can happen anytime, anywhere. This could be the conversation you can start with someone that you actually meet along the way as a kind of really sort of a short, quick, hey man, you look familiar, it's like, well, are you, it can be just something that you start with somebody that's in the process of looking for a job. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And by the way, this just gives you a framework. The more you do, the better you'll get, I promise you. You get into 50 conversations like this, your 50th will be better than your first. You get into 100 conversations, your 100th will be better than your 50th. Does that make sense? You get your 200th interview, I promise you that your 200th will be better than your 100th. You start refining what you're looking for. You can hear the BS in people's voices. You can tell when they're lying to you. You can tell when you've got a really good person, someone that just salt of the earth, the kind of person that, man, I want to help this person. But the only way that you can refine what you're looking for is by putting yourself out there and talking to all kinds of people. Okay? So this isn't designed to help you get better. It's designed to give you a framework to get started. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Indeed.
And so that's kind of the general process. I could do it quick and dirty. It could be like 5 minutes. All right, gang. Anyone else? 12 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. So the question is, are you guys going to do this next week? I don't know. I hope so. How can you? Let's get you some resumes. Jenny or Brenda can get you resumes to start calling and emailing, and you can put Craigslist ads out there, and and so on. We've got some great videos on Craigslist ads and MP3s. If you go to our recruiting page, that's got a ton of information on our recruiting page in the Get Smart section, I believe. If you go to abn.financial and log in there with the password, it gives you all the resources that we have that you can look up. And if you don't know where to find it, I'll point you to it. Just give me a call. All right, gang. So there you go. Thanks, Yuval, for being a great example. And I know you're out there talking to people, and great helping you out. So good stuff. All right, gang. Rock and roll. Take care.
Thanks, Alex.